Lift heavier, grow bigger. Almost everyone believes that, and on paper it sounds airtight. So explain the guy in your gym who benches more than anyone, hauls the heaviest dumbbells to the rack, and still looks like he started 6 months ago. Explain why his shoulders click on every warm-up, why his lower back files a complaint the second he stands up in the morning. It was never that he's lazy. Effort was never his problem. The problem is where all that effort actually goes. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. Most of that heavy lifting quietly turns into joint compression. You stack a loaded bar on your spine. You grind the same fixed path 100 times. You let a little momentum sneak in and do the work your muscle was supposed to do. That isn't strength. That's your body finding the laziest way to survive the set. And this is where it gets strange, because the 5 movements I'm about to show you are the ones most people avoid on purpose. Not because they're complicated, because they expose you in about 4 seconds flat. The very first one, most grown adults who train cannot do a single clean rep of it, not one. Before we touch anything though, get one thing straight in your head. Your muscle has no idea what a dumbbell is. It responds to 3 things and nothing else. Tension, which is how hard the fibers are forced to work. Range, which is how deep you can actually control that tension. And progression, whether you keep raising the bar week after week. Miss 1 and growth crawls. Miss 2 and you're just moving around in a gym, sweating, going nowhere. Weights can deliver all 3. The trouble is how easily they let you fake it, and that's exactly where the first movement stops the faking cold. Think about how a heavy set actually looks once fatigue shows up. You start swinging. You cut the range short. You slide the tension off the muscle and onto whatever joint is willing to take it. Your body is smart, so it adapts by doing less, not more. Now flip the whole thing on its head. What if the resistance was your own body weight and there was nowhere left to hide? What if every rep demanded that you control it, slow it, own it? What if your weak points got dragged straight into the light? That's the personality of these 5 movements. They don't just build muscle, they audit you. Sloppy control, you feel it instantly. Lazy stabilizers, they fail first. Ugly form, there's no bar path to bail you out. Ignore them, and nothing dramatic happens today, which is exactly why they're dangerous. You just get a little worse each month. The muscle softens. The joints get louder. Everything you pick up feels heavier than the number on it should be. So let's start where most people quietly find out how weak they really are. If you want an upper body that reads as athletic from across a room, wide, dense, actually capable, you need real pulling strength. Not machines steering your arms along a track. Not half reps where your chin never clears anything. Real pulling. That's why number 1 is the chin up, and not a random version of it. Palms facing you, hands a touch closer than shoulder width. That tiny detail changes the whole set. More biceps in the mix, more clean reps early, more total work banked before you burn out. But here's what almost everyone gets wrong. A chin-up is not an arm exercise. It's a full-body lie detector. Your lats drive it, your biceps assist, your upper back locks the frame, and your core is the only thing stopping you from swinging around like a wrecking ball. You're not just hoisting your body weight upward, you're steering it through space while gravity tries to embarrass you, and gravity never lies about how strong you actually are. Compare that to grinding heavy rows. No bent-over position slowly crushing your lower back. No machine rail deleting every stabilizer you own. No little hip kick to launch the weight. Just you and the thing pulling you toward the floor. Now let's be honest. Most people can't grind out one clean rep, and that flinch you just felt is the whole reason you need it. Here's how you build one from nothing. Start with active hangs. Grab the bar, but don't dangle there like wet laundry. Pull your shoulders down and away from your ears and hold that tension for 20 to 40 seconds. You're teaching your shoulder blades they have a job. Then slow negatives. Jump up so your chin clears the bar, then lower yourself as slowly as your body allows. 5 seconds. 6. Push for 8 on the way down, because that descent is where the strength gets built. 3 to 5 reps a set. After that, cluster your reps. 1 clean rep, rest 20 seconds, 1 more, repeat. You stack real volume without smashing into failure and quitting early. As for where you stand, 1 honest chin-up means you've started. 8 means you're building actual muscle. 12 or more and you've become genuinely dangerous, and that's when you add load. A backpack, a weight vest, a belt with a plate swinging off it. But don't rush there. No swinging, no kicking, no counting the reps where your chin never made it. Chest up, core braced, control every inch on the way down. Because if you cheat this one movement, everything after it gets weaker too. And speaking of things people fake without realizing it, wait until you see what they're doing to their chest. Most people are convinced they train chest hard. They don't. They shove weight from point A to point B, stop a few inches early where it feels safe, then wonder why nothing up top has changed in a year. Here's the piece they're missing. Your chest doesn't grow best at the top, all locked out. It grows in the stretch. Deep, controlled, slightly uncomfortable stretch, because that's where the signal to grow screams loudest. And that's the exact spot almost nobody visits. So instead of another bench variation, movement 2 is ring push-ups. Rings, hanging free, not the floor, not a padded machine. They force two things heavy pressing strips away: freedom and instability. Your hands can rotate, your shoulders travel the way they were built to, and your body fights to stabilize every fraction of every rep. Then you hit the bottom, and that's where it changes. Your chest loads deeper than you ever dare to train it. Your shoulders learn to own that depth instead of panicking. Your core stays welded so your hips don't sag. Setup runs the whole show. So start with the rings at hip height, body in one straight line, and lower slowly, about 3 seconds down, pausing in that stretched bottom before you press back up under control. No bouncing. 10 clean reps with a real stretch, you're improving. 15, your chest looks like it belongs to a different person. 20, and progression gets aggressive. Too easy? Walk your feet back, drop the rings. Too hard? Raise them. Bend your knees. And the quiet bonus nobody mentions is that once your shoulders learn to stabilize like this, everything else improves too, which matters more than you think the second we load your legs without wrecking your spine. Because look at how most people train legs. Load a bar, rack it across your back, push through pain, and pray something grows. Sure, it works, but a bill comes due. Your spine eats the load. Your knees and hips absorb the leftover stress. And that strong feeling slowly hardens into stiffness you carry into your 40s. That's why movement 3 flips the equation. Back foot elevated split squats. Some call them Bulgarian split squats, and if you've done them honestly, you already flinched. They're brutal, not because they look fancy, but because they refuse to let you lie. One leg does the work. Nowhere to shift the weight, nothing to compensate with. Your front leg produces the force, steadies the knee, and holds your balance all at once. Your glutes light up, your quads burn, even your inner thigh gets dragged into a fight it never signed up for. And the best part is what's missing, because no loaded bar is grinding down on your spine to buy that growth. So you train the leg harder while your back recovers easier. Body weight only, 3 sets of 10 a leg with real control. When that stops scaring you, add weight and chase 8 clean reps aside. 12 a leg loaded with no wobble and your legs simply grow. But execution beats load. Plant that front foot forward enough to keep your heel down. Lean the torso slightly forward to pull the glutes in. Lower 3 seconds, pause, then drive up through your midfoot and heel, never your toes, and keep that knee tracking over your toes instead of caving in. Here's where most programs fall apart though. They chase all this pushing and leg work, and they let pulling rot, and that single blind spot is what starts quietly bending your posture out of shape. Catch most people from the side sometime. Head drifting forward, shoulders rounded, upper back with no shape at all. That's not bad genetics. That's imbalance. Too much pushing, nowhere near enough pulling, and over time the body just accepts it as normal. The muscles in front shorten and tighten. The ones in back weaken and switch off. Your posture folds in on itself like it's apologizing. That's where movement 4 steps in. Body weight rows, feet elevated if you can manage it, using rings or a bar or anything solid that won't move. You pull your body towards your hands while holding everything else dead rigid. Picture a plank that decided to move, and half the usual mistakes disappear on their own. Here's why it beats a lot of traditional rowing. No lower back straining under a heavy hinge. No grinding weight tempting you to cheat with your hips. Your body stays flat and honest. Your core stays switched on. And your upper back is finally forced to do its own job. This is where thickness comes from. Not looking wide from the front while you pose, but reading strong from the side and the back, which is where people judge you anyway. 8 clean reps, you've started. 12, solid strength. 15 with your feet on a box and you're building real density. And this one doesn't only build muscle, it quietly repairs you. Your shoulders settle back where they belong. The tension in your neck fades. Your pressing gets stronger on its own, purely because your body is balanced again. So now you've got vertical pulling, deep pressing, leg strength with your spine left out of it, and horizontal pulling. One piece is missing, and it's the one people argue about hardest, because done carelessly, it genuinely causes problems. But done right, it hands you a level of upper body strength most people train their whole lives and never touch. You've heard the line 100 times. Dips destroy your shoulders. Not quite. Bad dips destroy your shoulders. Good dips build one of the most complete upper bodies a human can own. That's why movement 5 is ring dips, and yes, rings again, because they let your shoulders move exactly the way they were designed to. Nothing locked onto a fixed bar, nothing forced into one rigid position. The rings rotate, they adjust, they bend to you instead of the other way around. And here's what sets a dip apart from almost everything else. You're pressing your entire body weight through a huge range while your chest, shoulders, and triceps fire together. That's an enormous stimulus and an enormous responsibility, and most people blow it in the first 3 seconds. They drop too deep, lose the position, let their shoulders roll forward, and call that a rep. That's not strength, that's ego in a tank top. So you earn this one. Start with support holds. Up on the rings, arms locked, rings turned slightly out, shoulders pulled down, chest tall, and just hold for 10 to 20 seconds. If you can't own that, you have no business dipping yet. Then controlled negatives, 5 slow seconds down, stopping the instant your shoulders start to slip, because that's exactly where people wreck themselves. Then full reps, only as deep as you can stay in total control. 5 clean reps, you're building. 8 to 12, you're growing. Past that, you add load, and the payoff is bigger than muscle. It's shoulder control under real pressure, the gap between a guy who looks strong and a guy who is. And the day you start hanging weight off a clean, controlled dip while holding that same locked shoulder position, something shifts, and it usually hits people right there, mid-rep, that the barbell was never the thing that was going to make them strong.